So on the BSA, I fitted this PES direct feed to the rockers, which comes off the crankcase, as I'm sure people will know. Comes off down here, straight out of the pump output gallery, and comes straight up to the rockers. But I suspect it may be pumping too much oil into the rockers, which is a known problem. I think if you just put a plain tube between the pump output and the rockers, you can flood the rocker box with excess oil. I thought and think that there is a restrictor in the PES product, this third-party oil feed, which should limit the flow. Talk online about a 0.6 mil orifice being about right to give sufficient oil without flooding the rocker box. Because the original feed, of course, comes off the return line back to the tank, so it's very low pressure. Basically, just dribbles oil into the rocker spindles, and that's sufficient in BSA's um, engineering terms. So you don't need massive amounts of oil being pumped in under high pressure. So I suspect it may be getting over-oiled, and that may be causing the oil leak that I get. I've taken the rocker box off and remade that seal, the gasket, but I still get oil accumulating on this top fin. It's not a huge amount, but it's certainly there. I also had a look at the spindle for the decompressor, which is around the back here, see whether it's coming through there. And the seal on that isn't brilliant, but I would have thought it would be okay. So maybe if it is filling up with oil, even, and coming up to the level of that decompressor spindle, I guess that's a possibility in terms of a dribble of oil coming out and sitting on this top fin. So it's over a year ago now, I guess, when I lost one of these caps, I made up a temporary 3D printed one, which actually works surprisingly well. So I'm thinking that if I make another one of those plastic 3D printed caps in a translucent material, PETG in particular, and make a little window in this end, I can maybe see where the oil is. And certainly if it's accumulating in here to any great extent, then that would become apparent through that little window. So I think I might give that a go because it's relatively easy and quick to do without taking the engine out, for instance. So here's the 3D model for the 3D printed cap. I've modified it on this version to remove a cylinder of material. You can see that through this underside, but it comes up within 0.4 millimeters of this top surface. So I printed that off, and I did actually start with a 0.2 millimeter window, which is basically just one layer in the print, and that actually broke as I picked it off the bed of the printer. So that's probably too thin. So this one is with a 0.4 millimeter thick window, just two layers of the print, and you can see through that pretty well. So I might take the real cap out, put this one in instead, just temporarily, and have a ride round and see whether the oil does indeed start to appear in the window. If it is over oiling, then I should be able to see that, and if necessary, either put an orifice in the external feed to the rockers, or revert back to the original feed arrangement, whichever. So I've just taken the PES cap off and putting the 3D printed one with its relatively thin window onto the bike. So it does fit pretty well. The spanner fits perfectly, so the hex size is right, and the threads seem to be right as well. So I'm quite surprised, really, and pleased how it worked out. So this PET material should be more temperature resistant than the PLA that I used last time. So that, together with the fact that it's translucent and has the window, be interesting to see what happens. It's probably enough. I don't want to crack the thread off. Yeah, that's fine. Right, we'll run it up and see what happens. So I've just been out for a fairly long run, long enough, I think, to get the oil into a steady state, as it were, where it's scavenging as fast as it's pumping it round and so on. And there was no sign of any build up in the rocker box. So my translucent window here didn't show any oil um, pooling, certainly. And taking this off with the engine still running, again, there's no oil sort of at the bottom edge of this lip. So I'm fairly sure all is well with the PES external oil feed to the rockers. So I'm going to leave it as it is, put this cap back on, if I can find the thread, and we'll press on regardless. And there we go. Good. Thanks for watching.